Talkschlagheck, the one and only.
Hello everybody and welcome to my unscripted vlog for April 2024. Well, the theme of this one is that, when I look back at when we came back from Mexico in early March, life was kind of simple. My philosophy to manage my own life is kind of like from a minimalist standpoint. I don't try to get into stuff that is unnecessary to fulfill my dreams or to live the life the way I imagine it. But it's easy to do in Mexico where there are no distractions and you don't really have to focus on anything that is like the ordinary life. Once back here, well, as I told you in the last vlog, I bought a pickup truck. I bought a 1989 truck and I'm still working on it. And it is just one added task to my already busy life, which I was totally predictable that it's going to be crazy busy once we get home. The weather's getting better. For the most part, the weather is shitty on days that I am available to work on my own stuff, my truck, and the weather gets fantastic when people hire me to do jobs, which is of course great because part of these jobs are outdoors and it's fantastic. I mean, I get paid for doing stuff I basically enjoy, but what it does is there's too much going on at times, so you have to make decisions of what to do and what not to do and try to do one thing of this every time, every day, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like springtime in Alberta can be stressful. There's a lot going on. Adapting from coming back from the Mexican climate where basically you never have to worry about what you put on, what you wear. You never have to worry about any of this. You're comfortable almost all the time regarding the climate. You come back here, you're good one day, then the next day you wake up and you're energized and ready to do stuff. Look out the window, it's snow, it's wind. Then the whole last week was basically the weather. You could forget about it. Then I got hired to do somebody's paint job on the outside of the house. Well, guess what? I got as far as the prep work because it was just too cold to do the painting. So then I had to shuffle a whole bunch of other appointments around, which is never quite super successful because people have lives, people plan around their lives. So you accomplish a certain amount of stuff that you had planned for, and it's never quite what you hope for. I do YouTube videos. Last year, I got myself into doing a second channel, and it is relatively unsuccessful, but not too bad kind of deal. Just kind of like it goes. That's what the average YouTube channel can hope for. You actually get a little bit of traction, and then it stagnates, and then when you think you could have 1,000 subscribers within a year or something like that, well, in real life you have a period where you're stagnating. You don't really have the time to focus on it all the way that you should, and then all of a sudden what you thought could be accomplished in 6 months, it's gonna drag out, and you could see that it might actually take 2 years. Yeah, life here is crazy. I tell you, Edmonton in the spring, the days go from really short where it's dark at 5 o'clock or something like that, and all of a sudden now it gets dark at like 8, 9 o'clock, like soon it's gonna be 11 o'clock. That is the thing that happens when you're living far in the north, and it messes up your sleep pattern. And well, our provincial government here doesn't help because they do what many other places do also. In the springtime, we set the clocks forward 1 hour, so you get up an hour earlier, and it doesn't accomplish anything really, but the sunset now is 1 hour delayed already to begin with, and then it adds to it being so far north that all of a sudden, yeah, it's hard to get the rest you need because the sunshine, you know, you're getting up super early, which is not really necessary for anybody, but daylight savings, you know, so you got daylight until like the wee hours of the night. And let me tell you, that's another thing. What's going on at night here in this city after dark, when normal people are taking their rest, are in bed sleeping, it's getting worse. We have an opioid crisis here. It seems like the government is oblivious to that. They don't put the funds towards it that would be necessary to actually deal with this problem. And it's getting worse. Ever since the pandemic that we went through, can I even say pandemic on YouTube now? Is that okay? But yeah, this crisis has worsened. I want to show you a clip from our security camera last night, the night before. Somebody came up to our door, a visitor. Isn't that nice? This was at 2:18 in the morning, and they obviously didn't knock the door, didn't ring the doorbell or anything, though. They just tried to open the door.
Not safe.
You can hear the voice.
Not safe.
Yeah, it's locked tight, is what he said. So who's he talking to? Somebody obviously had the intention to enter our house, and because it was 2:18 in the morning and somebody we don't know, highly likely it wasn't anything good. Like, I'm sure they weren't gonna just wake us up and throw us a surprise party or leave me a comment. What do you think? I contacted the police, but you cannot submit a video through their contact form. I wasn't gonna call them because I had really frustrating experiences with them on the phone where I find myself digging for information that I didn't have on hand, and that is, in my opinion, almost kind of irrelevant. Like, once you make a police report, you sign up for some bullshit and nothing gets resolved anyways. I had my pickup truck stolen 1.5 years ago, as you probably know, which is the reason why I'm working on another pickup truck now to replace this. And the police never did shit about it. Oh, by the way, regarding this Edmonton getting a little bit weird and weirder all the time, there are homeless camps now everywhere. And I feel for these people because whether they have addiction issues or not, they're in a tough spot. It's an epidemic. I mean, there are so many people here that are addicted, but I'm pretty sure there are people also that are becoming homeless because they simply cannot keep up with the expenses. We had, for the last 2 years here, we had an inflation crisis. And the problem in Canada is that no matter what sector you look at, whether it's banking, groceries, gasoline, what else? The internet. There are 3 major competitors, and that's it. And they're super large. They fix the prices, and everybody here is gouged to death. Everybody in Canada is paying more than they actually should. Salaries aren't keeping up, so rents go up. Rents go up like crazy. And homes, well, forget about it. There's a shortage of homes. That's why people end up homeless, and sometimes people who are in that situation are more vulnerable to getting hooked on some kind of drug or something, you know. One comment that I had came to mind is like, don't forget going on a bike ride. Well, my bike's right here behind me. I do that. However, I'm still not happy with my bike. I put a new chain on it just recently. Didn't feel the need to make a video about it because there's already such a video on my channel somewhere. And most of you who are actually watching my videos know how to change a chain. What you may not know is that I'm running a 6-speed freewheel on this bike with granny gear that has 34 cogs. And ever since the the big world health emergency that we all went through. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Those freewheels don't seem to be available anywhere anymore. So for the second year in a row, I'm having this problem because they're made cheaply. They don't last more than one season. And once you change the chain, you know, the sprockets that you actually use the most, they jump. It's not good, but what can you do about it? Well, I've been struggling with that. I went to the community bike shop here, tried to see what they had. Even a used one I would have bought, because you can actually change the first 3 sprockets if you unscrew them. But however, then there's a cluster of 3 more sprockets that you can't. You're stuck with those. So on this freewheel that I'm running right now, the 2 climbing gears, they're quite okay, but it's the third one from the top there. It's one that I actually use quite frequently. It's worn out. So I bought a freewheel that had, for me, the wrong granny gear on it, and I changed the first 3 sprockets, the small ones. So those are okay now. Then there's one that's bad, and then the 2 climbing gears, they're okay. But I can't get that worn out one off because it's riveted together. I don't know how to take that off. So what I'll end up doing probably is, the angle grinder that I just bought on Marketplace. I'm gonna try it out on this freewheel, grind off the rivets, slap on my big granny gear, and then try to somehow put that back on. I don't know how I'm gonna hold it there. I don't think it's gonna be possible to make a thread in there and put screws, so I'm probably gonna try JB Weld. You're probably gonna see me do this because I'm planning to make a video about it. Maybe it's gonna be a disaster, but if not, then I'll get one more year with the setup that I actually want, and eventually I'll have to convert this bike. There's a possibility of having a free hub instead of a free wheel, and then you can exchange individual sprockets much easier. So that's probably in the stars for next year. Pain in the butt, but these free wheels are made so cheaply anyways now that who cares, you know? Maybe the sprockets for the freewheel hub, maybe they're better. The main thing about all this is you have to stay positive and just deal with it the way it comes and not give a because if you start caring too much about one thing or the other, or become some sort of perfectionist, I think you're in for a lot of stress and a lot of trouble. So whatever's going on in your life, leave me a comment. I mean, do you feel overwhelmed sometimes? I mean, I'm 61 years old, which doesn't feel like it, but shouldn't life become a little bit slower, a little bit easier, just more manageable? Well, it never really happens that way. So yeah, you just have to put it into the right perspective and deal with it the way things come. Put a smile on your face. Don't give a fuck, because otherwise you just get sucked into the bullshit and you'll never get back out of it. So just deal with the stuff you can handle. Worry about the stuff you can control. And then life will go on. Life will go on, and if you take it seriously and you actually do the stuff that you can handle, I think you'll be okay. I think it's manageable. But yeah, minimalist is a nice idea, and I still believe in it. However, even if you do, there are a lot of things that'll just pop up that you have to deal with, and sometimes it could be so overwhelming that you can't handle it all at once, even if it seems very urgent. Just don't give a fuck. It's not all that urgent. It's just, worry about it another day. And once it comes back to mind, actually deal with it in some way. Worst case scenario, you buy yourself some time, and much better would be like just to deal with it properly and solve problems. That's what life is about. We're thrown in here to solve problems, and they'll never be perfectly solved. We all know that. thanks for listening to me for this long. If you stayed to the end, then you're a candidate for either giving this video a thumbs up or perhaps even subscribing to my channel, because, you know, it's a growing channel. It's the trend, guys. Soon this is gonna have 100,000 subscribers, and you can still say that you were one of the founding subscribers because it's still under 3,000. There you go. See you in the next video.